It's been a while since I talked about Yu-Gi-Oh! Omega, and I had a commenter comment to talk about this again because it's been quite some time. Last time I covered it was December 2022, and a lot has changed ever since. So let's talk about it and let's get into it. So when I covered it, it was like in the early stages of 1.0 or whatever, but now we're almost on version 0.3. So let's talk about it and let's get into the discussion of Yu-Gi-Oh! Omega. Now, between Yu-Gi-Oh! Omega, Edo Pro, and Dueling Book, which one do I happen to use the most? Well, the answer is kind of obvious because I use Yu-Gi-Oh! Omega really quite a bit on my day-to-day practicing and just building decks to see how they would look and how they would function. On top of that, I still use Edo Pro as a substitute if my internet does go out, because that doesn't really require that much of an internet connection. While Omega, there is online play, or there's local play, or you could just duel against the AI. But enough of that, let's get into it, and let's take a look first at the deck manager. So the deck manager is very simple. As you can see, you have cover cards for each of your decks. Just like Master Duel, just really, honestly, it's quite nice because you can see what deck you have, and if there's a specific tech in said deck, like if you see, I have Dark Ruler No More as one of these options. And up at the top right corner, you can see there's a search functionality. This search functionality is super useful because you could just type in one of the deck names and you can see all the builds for it. And I really do like that because it's really makes it easier to find what decks you need. And one of the best things about it is that you can click on one of your deck lists and you can see, hey, it's the full deck list here. And you can click on a card and it pops up with the card in question that you're looking at. So you get reminded if you're building a deck, hey, I probably need this card. And it shows you the full deck list from top to bottom of the main deck, side deck, extra deck, and all that, which I really do enjoy. And it's nice because you can also add tags, so when you search, you can use the tag instead. And then for the import and export, it's pretty self-explanatory. You can import from your clipboard, a deck, the path of a clipboard, and a recipe, along with the import folder that you could find in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Omega folder, along with the browser and a QR code. While on the export side, you can export via clipboard code, the YDK, or a recipe. You can even export as the YDK file in the YDK folder for the exports. And it also can export in CSV and in a zip file, or you can even export as a QR code, which I really do appreciate because that makes it easier on the go to get your deck list. Now, outside of that, after the exports, you also have the create button that just creates a deck list that you can do, but let's get into the actual other mechanics of this page. Well, of course, you have the sync. If you had to re-download your account and you're online and you uploaded all your decks to the Omega servers, you could sync and automatically get all your decks back, along with the recent structure decks that have been added to Yu-Gi-Oh!, which honestly is really nice. You also have the delete all, which wipes all your decks away, and honestly, I'll never use this function. And then you also have another create button right at the top. And on top of that, we have the edit button, a clone button, and your default button that makes it your default list. So let's get into the deck building and the deck builder, and let's talk about it. So right off the bat, you can see that it automatically loads up all the skill cards for Speed Duel. I voiced my concerns to the owner of Yu-Gi-Oh! Omega about this, and the only way that we could deal with it right now is going through the filters. And honestly, I kind of wish it would apply to what ban list you are currently using for which format you have. So if you're on the TCG format, it'll show you only the TCG legal cards, and on top of that, the TCG ruled specific cards, because some of the cards in this work differently compared to the OCG. Like you could see that Mistaken Arrest here has a TCG label because it's going by the TCG ruling. And there's also cards that have OCG that go by the OCG ruling. And I kind of wish there was a way to disable this, but sometimes it is what it is. And as you can see, they have the unlimited format along with the current OCG, the current TCG, and the current World's Forbidden Limited list. Then they also have the current Duel Links list, current Master Duel list, and the current Speed Duel list. Then we get to GOAT format, the original Yugi Kaiba format, Teledad, Edison, Tengu Plant, VFD, Toss format, the Trinity format, which is a separate format compared to what we have currently. Then we have the Link Zodiac format, Burning Abyss, and the Rush Duel format, because they do support Rush Duels on Omega. So let's get into the type of filters that you would have to use to only see the TCG cards. Well, obviously you have this, which shows all TCG exclusive cards, and there's not many, but I believe you also have to click the WCS one, which gives you everything that's legal currently in the TCG. And it excludes a lot of the normal monsters that aren't printed in it, along with just many other cards as well. As you can see, the Exodia pieces are limited, and we just keep going, and it's just everything on the TCG side. Now, if I were to remove these filters and scroll for a bit, we could see that you have the dual. There's a lot of skill cards. I wish these were in the back instead of the front. And as you can see, there's Duel Link, Rush Duel with the logo on the bottom. But as we keep going, let's try and find a card within this list that has both OCG and TCG text, which honestly is very interesting, like Har, Generator, Boss of Storms, or even Dark Sage. The only differences between the two cards is really nothing within the text and anything. It's just the coding of the card. So I kind of wish that they would either have a toggle for it, or it's automatically dependent on what Forbidden Limited list there is. But outside of the nitpicking there, you can see there's also a new update section where it updates with card text that has newly been updated because of a print in Master Duel, TCG, or OCG. And also, it has a lot of new cards that have been announced and shown off. So that is one cool thing to have, in my honest opinion. You also have a favorites where you could just favorite certain cards, and you have a whole list of them. I was going through all the cards. As you can see, Hulk is on the favorite list, and that should be removed because it's forbidden now. And it's just a thing where, oh, you can just immediately go to your staples and just favorite and unfavorite cards that you would probably use in a lot of decks, which really comes in handy. Then we also have the pre-erratas, which we could see a lot of them are skill cards because they constantly update those, but we also have a lot of past format pre-errata cards, so you can play past formats. And I like this support because it has the access for that. And then also the unscripted cards, you can see there, it's mostly skill cards. It's also just cards that they just have here for fun, and then cards that haven't been updated with their image. And we can see Anacraft is there, along with the Killer Tune Red Seal, which I don't think it's going to be really there. But there's just a few cards that are just, oh yeah, these are just fan creation cards. This is a fan creation card. That's a story for another day. But overall, the card filters are really cool. And you can also have a custom filter and a custom budget. Because if you notice, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Omega is integrated with TCG Player, because up in the main screen, there's a link to it. Also, there's the help and Discord server and the settings. And after that, it shows you the total price. You could turn it on and off of what your deck is, and we go from there. Now, this is the deck that I brought to Nationals for the LCQs and won the LCQ with it. And honestly, this deck has been faded out, where you're just going to be playing K9 Orchest or a different version outside of the Mitsurugi or Fiendsmith versions if you need, which honestly is completely fine. And outside of that, for the deck building section, there's really not much to go off of, or I mean, not much to really talk about. You have the shuffle option, you have the sort option, and then you have the remove all option. Now let's do a test hand real quick. As you can see, you can enable the shuffling, you can start the hand size, and also you could just press start, which launches you into the game with a total of 68 minutes for your full turn. Now, in this, a lot of people question, how do you access other decks that they currently have for the AI outside of this basic deck? Well, you could just press surrender, go to the room screen, and here you go. Now, a lot of these decks are currently OCG or outdated decks, and I kind of wish they would update these decks and keep going. So you could just add whatever deck you want. You could do like this one, or you could do the rank 5 rainbow, whatever, and you could just launch it and let's just talk about it, because honestly, a lot of the animations that they pop up, you could see that you can have the cards that are going to be searched, and if you need to look at your extra deck or your graveyard, you could also do that. Then we just grab what we need, we activate, and we could just go on. Honestly, just do what we need to do and get the cards that we honestly just need. But overall, the whole functionality of the Omega and with dueling is absolutely fine. And realistically, I definitely think that this is going to be one of the more interesting pieces to go over, because there are custom fields that you can make, and there's also custom, I should say, sleeves you can have, and really just a lot of different other customs for pieces here and there. So overall, I definitely think that on the going further, this really doesn't change much, and I think this is literally just the starter deck I'm going against. But overall, I definitely do like having the little animations here that show you the little card, so you can know, oh, it's this card, or oh, it's this card, and it's nice to have as a just in case. But overall, just dueling normally is really, it's just you dueling and going at it to see how far you could go. So there's that. So outside of that, you could check the field after you're done, you could save a replay. But outside of that, the deck builder is the normal deck builder. You also have the replays, which is after every duel that you do, it saves and replay automatically. And when you do, at the end of the match, save a replay, you can name it. So there's that. And I really need to go through all this and just delete all entries, because that was a lot of files. Now, you also do have the local play, which you can host or join if you want to duel with friends that have a laptop with you, or if you're just out wanting to have fun. And then we get to the online. It will ask you for the authentication through the web or the app. Sometimes it's only once, other times it will do it almost every single time. Now, we go into the authentication, and now we're online. As you can see, you have matches going on, and it's quite a bit. You can go for a rank match, you can go for a casual match, and there's even event matches that you can even duel in. They have tournaments almost every day. They're free, and you could just join the Discord server for those tournaments. You can also host and have a myriad of just different custom properties, a lot of different just a lot of different things, really, which honestly is nice. You could even search for a player and you can enter the room code. So there's that. Now, other things that there's the online leaderboard. You also have tournament results, which take you to the website as well. And then you also have this shop. So this is a rarity shop that you have. And it's really interesting because every card comes in common. And to get these coins is basically just end of the season whenever a ban list comes out, and you get them while dueling if you beat someone who's a higher rating than you. And there is rare, super, Ultra Secret, Gold Rare, Parallel Secret Rare or Starlight Rare, and then you have Ghost Rare. And then you also have the Attribute Elemental Rarities, which honestly, the one that I like the most happens to be the Dark one, because it's really not that obstructive, but it's very busy. After that, you also have the card backings that you can get in these rarities, which cost 10 times as more than the other rarity. And it's very interesting to see because I barely see anyone use these because that's blinding right there. But something subtle like a rare would look perfect on really any deck. And there's also the attributes, which I've seen like once, which take 75,000 coins, which is quite a bit. But hey, sometimes it is what it is. And these are just applicable through the whole entire deck build. The option, if you donate to them, you get one of each of the top rarities, which was a nice little donation gift. And honestly, some of these cards look great in said rarities. But after that, what else is there to talk about? In the settings, there's a lot. I don't play with the music because I usually listen to my own music when I duel. And you can see there's auto flip, show actions on hover, and you can see you can adjust the game speed so you can make it super slow or make it super fast. You can always show card list, auto rock paper scissors, and auto place. Then you also have other things like the render, all the graphic settings. You can mess with your FPS if you want it at 1, or if you want it at 360, or even 1000. GFX, just a lot of other toggles here and there. You can see the sound. I have my SFX sound very low, and a lot of the others just the background music completely off. Cards, they all have their own little thing because you have standard, rush, or anime layout, readable. You can also have it in the same way, card font, along with pop-ups, which can be either hologram card of both, a hologram size, field status, animations, display cards, level in hand, which honestly was cool until it started bugging out for me a while ago, and then update card on hover. The socials is just against the opponent. I just have it just muted because I don't want to deal with people being toxic and just being rage. And honestly, it's been a better experience because of that. Key bindings, you have key binders for a lot of things, being chain on, chain off, and all that. You have extra deck, graveyard, and all that. I don't really use these because I just use the mouse and click on everything. And then also you have other languages for pretty much any card, really. And it's supported with a lot of different languages, which I think is really cool. You have the side deck editor filters, along with update server, game server, deck editor validation, tooltips. There's the card price where you could hide it or not, and then a real-time search, which honestly is very useful. And you just apply the settings and then go on. And realistically, I think it's a fine way to play Yu-Gi-Oh! For the TCG, because Master Duel is more for the OCG, and then you also have YGO Pro for the OCG, and we also have Edo Pro and Dueling Book. And honestly, I don't like manual simulators because I would rather not sit for about an hour just for one whole match on ladder sometimes. But it's a lot of fun, and I definitely recommend Yu-Gi-Oh! Omega still after all these years. And realistically, I know I'm never going to get a Konami sponsorship because what I do with the Yu-Gi-Oh! Organization, making market watch articles, and honestly, I'd rather speak my own opinion on the game than having to be suppressed. But overall, Yu-Gi-Oh! Omega is still worth it even till today, as this is a basic rundown, and there's a lot of things that I probably forgot about that wasn't in the original overview that I had. And I definitely think that everyone should give it a try. It is Discord integrated, but you can also private your profile through the Omega app, so no one knows that you're in a game or anything. You can even disable that on the Discord side as well, so it doesn't detect Yu-Gi-Oh! Omega. And overall, I definitely think that people should try this out again. But anyways, I have been BoltSpider. I've been going on for way too long, and I would like to rest for the rest of the night. That's definitely for sure. But anyways, if you guys did enjoy this review of Yu-Gi-Oh! Omega, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to see more content like this, hit that like button as well. And comment down below what your thoughts on Yu-Gi-Oh! Omega is, especially after 3 years of this platform being out. But anyways, I'll see you all in the next video. Also, I do want to mention, I do have channel memberships, which are pretty much $1 a month to help support the channel. And if you do, it'd be greatly appreciated. But anyways, I will see you all in the next video.